Good day, my people. Good day, Biafra. Good day, everybody. Good day. It depends where you're watching from. Today, Miro Africa is back on air, hosting our great man, our great brother, Barrister. The topic of today is going to be economic development of Biafraland as we lay foundation for independence. So, I will use this opportunity to welcome Barrister. Barrister, please, you are highly welcome to the stage today.
Thank you, moderator. I'm glad to be here. I greet every person, all the Biafrans all over the world who are listening into this program. I greet all of you. I pray may God's blessing be upon every one of us.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as you just stated on the development of Biafraland, the economic of Biafraland, how possible are states is going today to be able to develop our area?
Well, the first thing is that we must start thinking homewards. We must start thinking homewards.
Okay.
You know, like in Igbo language, in Igbo adage, we say, onye nzuzu amaghị mgbe e kere nkụ ụkwa. You know?
Yes.
I don't know whether the English people have a similar proverb.
I don't
But
think so.
if you look at what is happening in Nigeria now, you know that a person is supposed to use his tongue to count his teeth.
Yes.
And we must start thinking home. We must start investing homewards. We must start developing our own region now.
But okay, continue, sir.
Yes, what I'm saying is that the first thing is to have that decision, to have that mindset of developing our homeland. That is the first thing. Before we now go into how. So can we now make it a kind of evangelizing all our people, that what we are talking about now is to develop Biafraland first, economic development of Biafraland, as we are laying foundation for independence. You see, we don't want to be independent and then go empty-handed.
Yes.
Yes, I agree that by the due process of law we are using for independence, when you get your independence, your properties and your investments anywhere they are in Nigeria will still be protected.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, on the legal method of self-determination, when you get independence, nothing will happen to your properties and your investments, whether in the north or west, anywhere. Those properties are still your properties, but they are now properties in foreign countries. Just like you having a property in London.
Yes.
Or having a property in America.
But
yes, they are your properties, but they are not located in Biafraland.
Yeah, but Barrister, these people you are mentioning are in advanced world. Do you think that Nigeria will respect and stand to what they agree upon?
Yes. You see, whenever we talk like this, some people say it's advanced world. It's advanced. When we started in this legal method of self-determination, the first thing I had was exactly what you said.
Mm-hmm.
When I told some people that I'm going to file an action between Biafra and Nigeria, and that it will be heard in Nigerian court, they say it's not possible. How can? You mean you are going to sue Aso Rock and federal government will come to court and answer the summons? I say yes. They say it's not possible. I told them, listen, no government is above the law. They said, no, it's not possible. It is only in advanced country, Western world. How can you sue Aso Rock and they'll come to court? That's exactly what people said, and that's exactly the mindset some of you have. I said, okay, let's see. I prepared the case bundle here in London after gathering every information I needed, and then went and filed it and served as rock. Time was ticking.
Okay.
You know, you give them number of days to come and put in appearance. Now,
Yes.
as the days were ending, I was ready to now get to file for judgment, what we call default judgment. And if I had got that default judgment, I will execute it upon us rock.
Would they respect it?
Oh, watch and let me have a judgment and execute, and let's watch me.
Okay.
Just watch me. So when they knew I was coming to execute a judgment against them, I was getting ready. Then they now came and filed their defense, and they filed a motion and said, please, the judge should give them permission, please, that are very, very sorry that because of some problem that has to rock, that the president had some engagement, official engagement, before they could prepare their paper. Time had passed, so please, forgive them, allow them to defend themselves. So I said, okay, we will allow you to defend yourself, but you have to pay a cost for wasting our time.
And did they pay?
Yeah, they paid us. They paid us 5,000 naira. That was the first time Nigeria paid Biafra 5,000 naira. And Biafra started shouting, "Hey, that Nigeria has paid us."
Returning our change.
Even though it wasn't much, 5,000 naira is not much, but it's significant that Nigeria paid.
Yes.
Because we wanted to get a judgment against Nigeria, what we call default judgment. Default judgment means that if someone takes you to court, files action against you, and you fail to defend yourself, he will get judgment against you.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to get judgment against Nigeria, and just at the dying minute, they just rushed in and said they are very sorry for lateness. And the law allows us, under the rule of law, if somebody comes in to file his papers late, out of time, he can apply for an extension of time. Then you on the other side, you can agree or not agree. But if you don't agree, the judge may say they want to hear the case on merit.
Okay.
So there's no need saying, okay, I want to get judgment without hearing Nigerian side. No judge would like to give judgment without hearing the other side. But the only thing is that they will now ask you, the person that is late, to pay cost to the other side. So that was what happened. Nigeria had to pay us 5,000 naira. That was when the case started. So why did I say this? Because most of you, whenever we talk about the rule of law, you say, don't worry, it is in advanced nation. Who told you that Nigeria will not do it? Let me get a court order against Nigeria and see who will stop me from enforcing it. You see, they can do it and go free with any other person, but not me.
Okay. Because you're right.
Well, let me first get court order against Nigerian government, and you will see how I will enforce it.
Barrister, from example now, I heard that in Nigerian constitution, that during the time of Obasanjo, they amended the constitution and deprived the eastern region the right of building their self-generating energy, something like waste to energy, as you are just mentioning, to develop our area, because development without energy and good road won't even stand nor work. How can we develop our side and build our own energy while Nigeria is having such a constitution at stake?
Who gave you such information that Nigeria amended constitution that we cannot generate our own energy?
I keep on hearing it.
People just keep peddling rumors. If you go to the Nigerian constitution, there is legislative list. There is the concurrent legislative list, and that's where we fall under. There's exclusive legislative list, there's concurrent legislative list, and there is residual legislative list. If you look at the concurrent legislative list, the states have power to generate energy to have their own power plant. If if you if you see the Nigerian constitution, that in fact there was a time I was telling people that Nigerian constitution is the best constitution in the world. They said I didn't know what I was talking about, but I meant it. You know why? If you go to the fraudulent aspect, Nigerian constitution is fraudulent, so a very good fraudster can use it.
Okay.
So now, so those when I mean fraudster, I mean political
Fraudsters.
fraudster. That's somebody who can use the constitution, manipulate it to favor their own region.
As the northern Nigerians are doing today.
Yes, because they are intelligent, they are wise, politically intelligent. So that's what I mean. So I'm not using that fraudster in a negative sense. I'm using it that somebody who can use the constitution of Nigeria to better his own state, his own condition.
But
So yeah, go to the concurrent legislative list of the Nigerian constitution, and it gives power to the states to develop themselves without hindrance by the federal government. So what are those people in the House of Assembly doing? Why can't they pass the bills and develop their region?
that's what I'm asking. Why can't they pass bills
Okay,
and
and
develop
is it
their
the
area?
Hausa people stopping them, or Yoruba people stopping
But
them?
maybe you.
Nobody stopping them. Let them take up the concurrent legislative list. You will see the items they can legislate on and pass the bills and develop their land. I don't know the people you are sending to the houses of assembly. Are they illiterates?
Most of them are not politicians, but they have the money to run for the position.
I don't understand. In short, I don't understand the people you put vote into power to make laws for us, to run the houses of assembly. They don't know why they are there.
From example now, the way the government is pressurizing like a Senate vice president and River State governor, don't they have right over this molesting of police, searching their houses, all those things? Maybe if they have a good plan for their people, they will use this intimidation to intimidate them to drop everything.
Well, I don't know what you mean by police harassing them. Yes, I don't know what you mean by
like
police
like
harassing them.
I read a news that said that police went and searched the house of senate vice of this senate president.
Okay, police has the power of search. You should understand this now. Police has the power to arrest. In fact, police is the only institution that has power to arrest. And in fact, well, let me say, police has very wide power. They can arrest any person, even the president. But you know there is this immunity clause that usually is conferred on sitting presidents and governors, except that immunity clause is waived.
But barrister, is there nothing that the citizens of every state can do for their state to clarify them? Why are they not developing their areas?
We can. There are things we can do. For instance, I can go to Imo State now, or Abia State, or River State, or so on. If there is something that the state government is supposed to do, which the state has failed to do, I can compel the state to do it under what we call order, make an order of mandamus, compelling the governor to do what the law has imposed on him to do for the state.
From example now, this Imo state government that you just mentioned,
Yes. So
he's
what
owing the government workers for getting to years now. He haven't paid them, and
that comes under employment law. It comes under labor law. So if the government is owing its own staff, it comes under employment law. Now, those people that are being owed salaries should take action now.
but they don't know their right, barrister.
Why wouldn't they know their right? They should consult their lawyers.
The lawyers that are in Nigeria that doesn't even know their right to defend themselves inside the Nigeria.
What are you talking about? What, don't say that Nigerian lawyers are educated, they are intelligent, they are learned.
Barrister, you said that they
Yes?
are learned.
They are learned, they are my learned friends.
Yeah, they are your learned friends, but they are there. Their poor citizens are dying. Even the ones that have worked many years before Roger Okorocha is born could not even receive their pension today.
Okay, okay. Now you said they are poor or they are dying. Now, you see, maybe you are thinking of human rights litigation on behalf of the suffering masses. Maybe you are thinking about human rights litigation so that you can fight for the oppressed. Now,
Is there any room for it?
that is you want what I mean is that maybe you are thinking of lawyers now rising up to defend the people who are being owed or who are being oppressed.
Yes.
That's what we call human rights litigation. That is lawyers doing it for free, fighting people's cases for free. That's what you are thinking of, eh?
Which they will not be able to do.
It's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult thing to sacrifice one's life, savings, time, effort, just to fight for others. It's very difficult. The one I have done for Biafrans for all these years, I know what it has cost me. And yet, Biafrans are not even, they're not even, what will I say, appreciate. So, forget it. The people, any person who is being owed salaries by his employer, maybe if Imo State government is your employer and is owing you, you can take action. Imo State government has assets. You can instruct me. I know what to do now, and I will seize. In fact, I can even execute judgment and seize the Imo State government house itself.
But Barrister,
Nobody, the governor cannot even enter his office again.
yeah, but Barrister, the lawyers that are operating in Nigeria, like in Imo State, let's call our own area, for example, that are seeing that these guys are suffering, the governor is lavishing the money doing party, like we saw some videos of this relative doing party. If you want to collect rice, there is 500 naira on top of the rice. That means if you eat 3 plates or 15 plates, you have made money only to visit the occasion. You feel me? And
okay, your problem is that they ate rice or what?
no, not that they eat rice. They are sharing money to those that are eating those rice in that occasion. You know,
it's their problem because they are sharing money.
That is the money of the poor workers that have not received their salaries. You know,
Okay.
and the lawyers in Imo State, can they said, okay, they called all the whole this, like for example, labor organization in Imo State, please consult all the whole workers that are being owed in Imo State, make them to understand we got to fight for you, and if the state government pay this money or start paying it, then we will get at least 1 or 2% of the total sum.
No. Lawyers don't act like that. We don't instigate parties to go into war.
It's not war.
War, legal battle. That's what I mean by war, legal battle. We don't instigate parties to go to court. We don't say, hey, you gather yourself and fight, and we'll take percentage from you. That is abomination. Lawyers don't do that. It is against the law. We don't do that. So, but the thing is this: look at the simple thing. It's only a sick person that goes to a doctor, right?
Yes.
Good. If you know that your government, the Imo State government, is not treating you well, you are an employee of Imo State government, whether in the Ministry of Education or Ministry of Trade, Ministry or any ministry you are, Ministry of Information, the government is owing you. Then you are like a sick patient who needs a doctor. Then consult a lawyer and say, listen, no, the government is owing me. You can consult as an individual or as a union, like union of workers or whatever
labor union, yeah,
or whatever union you have. You can consult the lawyers. Look at what the government is doing to us. Then the lawyers will know what to do to help you. But for you to think that lawyers will come and start looking for who they will fight for, no. We don't do that.
okay.
It is a sick person that looks for a doctor.
from example now, we are talking about development of Biafraland before the restoration of independence. Um, like I have, as you said, that every state has the right to develop their own energy.
Yes.
And we know that the problem we are facing in Nigeria today, the worst thing is energy.
Yes.
And I have a contact to German government that are ready to develop waste, convert every dirty, every dustbin, every pure water nylon, pure water gallon flying around the street, tires, everything, recycling everything, and using it to develop energy for the
Yes.
people to have electricity.
Yes.
Can't, like, I don't have anybody in government that I can force those things into. But is there any platform we can throw this thing open that they will try to help their citizens? At least this project now will clean the city. It will clean up the city. This project will make any state that develops such an energy people will start selling their dustbin.
Okay.
There will be
Now,
less bacteria.
okay, you have a good project. Now, how it's done is a project of this nature. If you, for instance, if you consult me to handle it now,
Yes.
then we go into a proper agreement, project agreement, implementation stage. Different. There are certain things to be done, to be put in place. There are project studies, feasibility and viability studies. There are a lot of things to be done. Then we move in to implement it. At the implementation stage, we can do it totally private project or public private partnership, PPP. So in that case, I may now get the government involved and say, this, look at a beautiful proposal my client has, that we will convert the waste energy into electricity. We will convert waste into electricity. All those pure water sachets, all the
Even
water,
rest food, any dustbin at all is
anything
useful.
that we will convert it to energy instead of wasting it. Then we will demonstrate. We show them how it works. Of course, they will look at the projections, the proposal, what we call feasibility and viability appraisal, and if they are convinced, then they will join us to invest in it. So it can be public-private partnership. That's both those of us in the private sector and the government partnering to execute such a project. That would be good. Or it can be totally private project. Or if you want the government to take it totally as a government project, fine. The government can also take the project from you and maybe pay you off so you are the owner of the project. So if you have such a project and you want to implement it in Biafraland, you are welcome. That's what we are looking for. So um, have you done the feasibility studies, or is it at the stage where feasibility studies will be done before we move forward? So if you have such a thing, that is wonderful, and we can take it up, and that is part of the development we are talking about.
Uh,
So there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to say as if you are blaming the government. If you have a project like that, then go ahead. Let us go ahead and implement the project.
okay, sir. Then we will talk about that one at the end of the show.
Yes.
I have another thing that I would like to ask you, Barrister.
Yes.
We all know that our Biafran people like buying and selling.
Yes.
And all over Nigeria, they are the one trading, importing, and exporting.
Yes.
Why is it that in Nigeria, if anything happens, they will go after the property of the indigenous people within their areas to destroy it, and the state government and the federal cannot do anything? Is there nothing that we can do to protect our people and the business of our people all over Nigeria?
You see, it's a big problem for us who live outside the Biafra land, who run businesses in the north and west. Whenever there is any misunderstanding, the people will descend on our people and kill them and burn up their shops, their businesses, out of jealousy. All we hear is their governor of the state will rise up and condemn it and say he vehemently condemns this in strong terms and that the perpetrators shall be brought to book. That is just political language. It ends there. Next year, the same thing will happen. Yes. You say, what can we do to protect their business?
Is there anything we can do on a legal level so that any state where such a thing happens, the state will carry the responsibility and pay back the damages? Because they are not paying any damages, that's why the thing keeps on going.
Yes, there's something we can do. There's something we can do. The thing, like I have always said, it is somebody that is sick that goes to a doctor.
Like we now, we are the Biafrans, we are the ones sick, you know.
Okay, fine. Those traders whose businesses are being destroyed or whose goods are being destroyed, if they now gather themselves together and say they want to consult me, what can we do to protect our businesses? Then I will tell them what we will do to protect their businesses. You see, when you come out to fight for the masses,
yes,
at a point somebody asks you who sent you. If I now go, for instance, if I go to North now and file an action against and say I'm fighting for the Biafrans whose goods are being destroyed, somebody will ask me, who sent you? Who are the traders? And who will I say are the traders? I need to know human beings who are trading, who are complaining. I need to have to know who really are being affected by this thing. Like you now say it is all of us, we are the Biafrans. But I'm not a trader. I don't have shop there in the north. You yourself now broadcasting from Germany, I don't think you have a shop in the north.
no.
Yes, but you now say we. Who are the we who own the shop?
I mean, because of the topic of today, to develop the Biafran area in Nigeria before the independence comes, and the things that is hindering the development that is coming to our area, is also this destruction of our properties all over
No,
Nigeria.
I'm even thinking that the destruction of their properties in the north should be a catalyst or should be a spur that can push them down to Biafraland to start developing Biafraland. Since when they develop their shops, all their businesses in the north, the things will be burnt down overnight. Then let them go to the east and start developing the east.
Somebody is calling in, Barrister. Let's pick
It's
his call.
okay. Let's take the call.
Hello, the caller on the line. Hello, the caller on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Please, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from United States, Rhode Island State,
Okay.
near Boston. Alex Njok.
Okay, which area are you from in Biafraland?
I'm Wafo Emi Ower.
Oh, Onyebeka Ndewo.
And they were my brother.
Welcome to the show. No, we are still live now. The world is hearing your voice.
Okay. Brother Alex Njoko, welcome. Oh no, we have spoken. I know we have spoken on this platform before.
That's correct. Thank you. That's correct.
Yes.
I'm on Rhode Island. Maybe in North Carolina, but I traveled to Rhode Island.
Okay.
I decided to catch you people quickly now because I thought I had missed everything.
We just started, and The topic of today is all about economic development of Biafraland as we lay foundation for independence.
Okay. Okay.
So we are discussing now, the topic that is at hand now is about the businesses of the Biafran people all over Nigeria that is being destroyed by the Yorubas and Hausas. Is there any legal, I'm asking the barrister, if there is any legal method that we can use to protect the businesses of our people all over Nigeria? And he said yes. That is what he's trying to explain before you call him.
Okay. That is very good. It's a very important subject matter. And I have thought about such things, but I don't know if it's really happening in that way that our businesses are being destroyed. Are we talking about the movement of people from one market area to the other, as, for example, sometimes in Lagos? Or are we really saying that Naga to go and destroy the business establishments of our people? We have to be very clear about that.
Yes, it happens in various ways. Sometimes the government, like it happens in Lagos State, the government may give the Igbos a place to develop, and after many years, after developing that place,
they will drive them away.
They'll drive them away. They'll just drive them away.
Yes.
Don't just drive them away after they have sunk millions and billions of their hard-earned money to develop that area. They'll just drive them away from that place, and they'll go and start a life afresh.
And if there is any misunderstanding within the communities, I mean the people living around there, the indigenous people will rush into the market and start destroying.
That is the second method. The second method is to destroy, not just drive them away from that location, but to destroy the businesses whenever there is misunderstanding between the ethnic groups. Maybe an Igbo man, Hausa man, or Yoruba man. Once there's a fight, then it triggers off a riot, and then the Hausa or the Yoruba will now destroy all the shops and goods and of Igbos. So,
okay.
So that is the second stage of it. In that one now, you may not say it's not the government. It's not the government. Yeah. So it keeps recurring.
Yeah, but Barrister, the thing that makes it keeps on happening is because the state government is not paying back what their citizens or the indigenous
They're
people.
not paying for those things.
Yes. That's why they keep on doing it.
And they can't do it unless they are legally taken up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can't volunteer that.
Okay, now, Brother Lex, if something happens by a riot, if a riot breaks out and the mob comes and destroys shops, are you going to hold government responsible for destroying the shops?
Yes, because the police belongs to the government.
I think the state is supposed to protect every business, and if they were not able to do it, then they should be able to address a situation where no one is held responsible.
Okay, fine. In that case, what we'll now be talking about is the inability of the government to protect its citizens, protect their lives and properties.
Which the Nigerian Constitution stated that every Nigerian, wherever you are, you need to be protected.
In fact,
let me read out something for you. Let me read out something. It's we call it. I have Nigerian Constitution with me here. Hold on. Cap 2. When I read this thing now, you will start shouting and you will start praising Nigeria. But I'll tell you something.
Okay.
It is chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We call it Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy. Now I read. Section 13. It shall be the duty and responsibility of all organs of government and of all authorities and persons exercising legislative, executive, or judicial power to conform to, observe, and apply the provisions of this chapter of this Constitution. 14. The Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy and social justice. Just be listening. It is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria.
Okay.
Hold on. When you finish listening to this, you will start clapping your hands.
Okay.
Then I'll tell you why it does not work.
Okay.
The security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of the government.
Wow.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
The security, that is section 14(1)(b). The security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of the government.
Okay.
See, the participation by the people in their government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this Constitution. The people should participate in the government. Now, section 14(3). The composition of the government of the Federation or any of its agencies and the conduct of its affairs shall be carried out in such a manner as to reflect the federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity and also to command national loyalty, thereby ensuring that there shall be no predominance of persons from a few states or from a few ethnic or other sectional groups in that government or of any other agency. That is, no nation, no ethnic group should not predominate over others.
German say good to listen. Good to know that.
Well, now the same thing goes to states. Paragraph section 14(4). The composition of the government of a state or local government, council, or any of the agencies of such government or council, and the conduct of the affairs of the government or council or such agency shall be carried out in such manner as to recognize the diversity of the people within its area of authority and the need to promote a sense of belonging and loyalty among all the peoples of the Federation.
Wow.
Now,
wow.
When I finish it, you have not even had all of them. Go and if you have a copy of Nigerian Constitution, read Cap 2. That's sections 14, sections 13 to the end of that chapter 2. Now it is called Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy. That is perfect roadmap for peace and unity for every person having a sense of belonging, for equity, for justice, for fairness, everything for security. The government must ensure security of lives and properties. Everything is written in this constitution. But you know what I said? Why you will know that why it is not working? The law says that this chapter 2 is not justiciable. What does that mean? It means that the failure of the government to do this thing that is contained in chapter 2 shall not be actionable against the government. If the government fails to do
that's nullifying voting. It nullifies.
Why did they write it at the beginning?
Exactly.
It nullifies everything. It's a game.
It's a game.
So they now wrote all this beautiful sermon only to say that it is not justiciable. In other words, if the government fails to do it, you cannot sue the government.
No, it's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable at all. That constitution should be thrown inside dustbin.
And that's why one of our legal persons said that they shouldn't have said we the people, because we could not, as the people who have the sovereignty, pass this kind of irresponsible position of the government after such a beautiful training of things. Yeah, we cannot as a people.
It is terrible. It is terrible. So that's what we are fighting. Those of us who are human rights lawyers, we are fighting that this chapter 2 of the Constitution should be made justiciable. So if it is made justiciable, you can now sue the government for failing in its duties.
Okay, when it says that sovereignty belongs to the people, and it ends up saying you cannot sue the government, it's more or less giving the government a position where they cannot even question any group that is wants its inalienable right to exist, because they do not take responsibility to provide all those assurances of survival. And then, since the sovereignty belongs to the people, then any group amongst the people who have a right to self uh, uh,
Determination.
determination shouldn't find it very difficult to come out. So the government itself should not do anything to stop that.
Yes, the Nigerian government is not able to stop the suit for self-determination. Nigerian government is not able because the law of self-determination transcends over Nigerian law.
Okay.
The law of self-determination is international law.
Okay.
So
So
yes,
why does Nigerian government then stop any legitimate stance and request to pull out of the whole mess that we find ourselves in now?
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm saying, why does Nigeria government feel that it can stop any group that has properly identified itself as having the self-determination of a nation for itself?
Well, Nigeria cannot stop them. But the only thing Nigeria can do is just this thing. This confrontation with the children that are on the street. When we went to court and dragged Nigeria to court, and they came and faced us, we face to face, and we're arguing in court. Nigerian Biafra lawyer versus Nigerian lawyer were arguing in court. They couldn't withstand our argument, and the case was too hot. Even the case is so hot that Nigeria doesn't know how to handle it. And this issue also came up about whether Nigerian constitution should supersede the right to self-determination.
Okay.
Unfortunately, or will I say fortunately, some of the Biafran activists who were against me, some of the Biafran activists from the other camp that was against me, they were writing many things, on publishing many things in the public, and telling Nigeria that what I was doing is not right, and that they cannot get independence by legal method. And in fact, Nigerian constitution says that Nigerian constitution is supreme, so that the law I was quoting, the international law I was quoting, is under the Nigerian constitution. It cannot supersede Nigerian constitution. That was what they were writing on air, writing and publishing. So it's like Nigerian lawyers picked it up, whether they picked it from internet or what. They picked it up and came to court to argue it. They said yes, that that the Nigerian constitution is supreme, and that any international law that says that the people have right to self-determination, that international law cannot stand. That is Nigerian law. The Nigerian law will stand. So I laughed at them.
What is their thoughts of that?
Excuse me, please. Another person is calling in. Let me add him to the.
Okay. Add him. Then I'll tell you how the thing ended.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, the caller on the line. Can you hear me? The caller on the line. Can you hear me? No, you cannot hear me. So, Barrister, continue.
So Nigerian lawyers came with that argument to say, yes, that Nigerian constitution is supreme, that any international law that guarantees right to self-determination cannot stand, that it is inconsistent with Nigerian constitution, and therefore it will be void to the extent of the inconsistency. I laughed at them. Now, I now refer them to the Supreme Court decisions and Court of Appeal and Supreme Court decisions on that issue. In IGP versus ANPP 2007, 18 Nigeria Weekly Law Report, Part 1066, the Court of Appeal clearly said that any international law to which Nigeria has signed, any international law to which Nigeria is a signatory,
Yeah.
any provision of that international law must override any Nigerian law.
Okay.
And that the reason is that it is a presumption of law that the Nigerian legislator does not intend to breach international obligation.
Okay.
Therefore, the international law that says that the indigenous people of the land have the right to self-determination supersedes, overrides Nigerian constitution.
Constitution. So that keeps us.
And it is Nigerian court saying this. The Supreme Court said it. Court of Appeal said it. The highest court in the land said that the right to self-determination supersedes that constitution that says Nigeria is indivisible. You know,
Okay.
section 2 of the Nigerian constitution says Nigeria shall be indissoluble and indivisible.
Okay.
And now, while this constitution of Nigeria is still valid, Bakassi was carved out from Nigeria
Okay.
by the order of the International Court of Justice. So Nigerian map has been redrawn now.
Okay.
Despite the provision of the Nigerian Constitution that says Nigeria is indivisible and nothing should be tampered, should not be tampered with.
Okay.
But
So-
for Barrister, for such a thing to happen during Obasanjo regime, is it not act of treason for him to allow such a thing to happen?
What are you talking about treason when a court has given an order? If Obasanjo refuses, then it is out of contempt of court. Do you know the hierarchy of order?
Yeah.
Anything that the court says is binding,
Yeah,
and
but-
if you disobey it, then it's contempt.
But Barrister, how many times have the world court judged the border of Israel, and up to today, they did not abide to it?
You say what?
I mean the borders of Israel. And
How
they
many
don't-
times did what?
Yeah, the world court have talked about the 1950 something border issue.
Okay, I get where you are going to. You are talking about enforcement of international order from international court.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now, people have been talking about how do you enforce international court order, because that a country may decide not to obey and there's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I get that point. But do you know what the international community does to enforce an order? They use what they call sanction. And for you to be able to withstand sanction, you must be a strong nation indeed. Now, assuming that the International Court of Justice makes an order against Nigeria, and Nigeria refuses to obey, do you know what will happen?
They can
All
sanction.
the world powers will place sanction on Nigeria.
Yeah, but we should carry the sanction instead of to lose Bakassi.
Hold on now, hold on, listen. You carry the sanction. They will place sanction on Nigeria. They may say, no Nigerian can fly out. America can even place, there's no Nigerian flying into America. Britain says no Nigerian flying into Britain. Germany says no Nigerian flying into Germany. They place sanction. Then, by the time nobody flies out from Nigeria to land in any other country, then you know why you should obey. Or they will say another sanction. Nobody will buy petroleum from Nigeria. Let us buy from OPEC nations, from Arab nations.
Wow.
You don't know what is sanction.
I know what is sanction, but what we are losing in Bakassi is greater than everything that we can lose. That's the way I'm saying it.
If they say nobody shall buy from Nigerian oil, nobody shall buy Nigerian oil again. Let us buy from Saudi Arabia. Let us buy from Iraq. Let's forget Nigerian oil. Hey, If Nigeria does not sell oil for 1 day, 2 days, Nigeria is finished.
We have seen that just by mere interruption of the flow from, yes, we have seen that truth.
Hmm.
Okay.
So we have a very strong ground for what we are looking for our people.
But it's a
That's
Eh,
very
what.
shameful thing, Barrister, that in that judgment, Nigeria did not even prepare themselves to defend Bakassi.
what are you defending? The
Mm.
Nigeria, Bakassi won the Cameroon won the case. We knew that Bakassi was given over to Cameroon in the days of Gowon during the Biafran War.
Yes,
Was it not?
Oh my
that's what
God.
That was
that's
the that
petition.
was where the Nigerians came through into Biafraland.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's how
Yes,
they
now
entered
so
that.
Gowon gave Bakassi to Ahijo of Cameroon for Ahijo to open that place for the Nigerians to now come from backyard into Biafra.
Hmm. My
So
brother Alex, are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking?
Well, I'm seeing my way clearer and clearer.
Oh my God.
so
But
so
Barrister, I know
now
that you're a lawyer, but we are civilians. We have a different way of understanding this type of a thing because taking my property, giving it out as a gift, only to subdue me, I don't think that international community did the right thing. Eh?
okay, hold on. Hold on. Remember that the case was between Cameroon and Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
and the property in question was the dispute in question was between Nigeria and Cameroon, not Biafra.
Okay.
Assuming that Biafra regains its independence now, regains its sovereignty now,
Yes.
now Biafra can now say, hold on, gentlemen, that land that you gave to Cameroon is actually our own. Oh. And then a case begins between Biafra and Cameroon.
There will be no case because
No, there will be a case because Biafra will say, Cameroon may say Nigeria gave it to us. And then Biafra will say, with the law says, Nemo that quod non habet, that no man can give what he does not own.
oh, Barrister, I short, I got quite to do for a short.
Then if Nigeria, if Cameroon says, oh, Nigeria gave it to us, then we quote the law that says, no man can give what does not belong to him.
Yes.
And the Ibizenu.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Biafra is not yet a sovereign nation to go for that.
Oh, well, Barrister, I have another question. This
Yes.
case that you are having with Nigeria, that the case of Biafra and Nigeria,
Yes.
how long do you think that that case will still take?
Um, you know that of course you know what happened, and
Yes, 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 yes.
another lawyer is going on with the case now. I have done everything that should be done in that case. All the arguments, legal arguments, all documentations, I have filed them. So all we need is just a lawyer to stand up and present the argument, what we have already filed.
But
And the case.
they are still working with you, or they're not working with you.
No, we are all lawyers. I have not. They are with me now. That's
Okay.
nothing. There's nothing else to. What I mean is this. There's nothing else to add to the case. I have all the arguments have been made. You see, the new rules we are using now is that we call it front loading. That is, all the arguments the lawyer will make, we make it in advance and send everything to the court.
Okay.
Oh,
It's not the old system of law where you will, time for argument, then you come and start preparing argument. No, all the arguments have already been made.
Mm-hmm.
If you like, I can even send you all the arguments I filed in court. All of them have already been made. So All that the lawyer would do is to stand up and say, Your Lordship or my Lord, today's hearing, we want to adopt our argument dated so and so filed in court on so day. So that is our case. We adopt it. They are just adopt it.
Okay.
That's all.
I have another ajuju.
Yes.
Oh, can I tell you this thing? This
Have you, if you have forgotten it, then continue until you remember.
um continue until I could have jotted it down because I
Oh
was
yeah. So
reading
so what
something.
I'm saying is that we have our independence struggle is on a very sound foundation.
Barrister, sorry, another call is coming in. Let's take this call, please. Hello, the caller on the line. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Oh. Hello, can you hear me? The caller from US. Can you hear me? He can't hear me. Brother Alex, we will switch over so so that another call will be able to come in. So Barrister,
Yeah.
continue, please. Continue.
Okay. I was talking about our case is on very sound foundation. Nigeria cannot stop that independence struggle. That is the case for self-determination. It's not possible.
Yes.
And Nigerian constitution cannot stop it because Nigeria is a signatory to the convention, the Vienna Convention, Article 27 of Vienna Convention, and the law of treaties. Nigeria is a signatory, and it
Okay.
says,
Okay,
and that
Barrister, let me check whether you will get him now. Hello, the caller on the line. Can you hear me? The caller on the line. Can you hear me now? Maybe if he calls again, we will do it the way we normally do it, Barrister.
okay,
So, Barrister, what I wanted to ask before I forgot was about this election registration that they are demanding passport that you
okay.
send. Is there any new development from that side?
Yes, they have stopped demanding passport. They said they have stopped that. They now what they said is that you should go and register, get your voter's card, and for you to identify yourself, bring your national ID card. If you don't have national ID card, then go to your community leader to give you a letter of identification. Either you are the traditional ruler or community leader, somebody has to identify you that you are a citizen of that nation, of that village. So they are not asking for international passport.
Wow, my people, can you clap for our barrister? You remember last 2 weeks? It's last 2 weeks, right? Um,
Yes.
that a brother calls in and made us understand that those people back home that are registering for their for to participate in election in Nigeria, that the Nigerian government started asking. So, barrister, let's switch over now. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yes.
Yes, let's switch over so that we will take the call because the call is coming.
That's all.
Hello, the call on the line. Can you hear me now? Hello, the caller on the line. Can you hear me? Um, sorry, Barrister, the line is too bad. His line is too bad. Barrister, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So, as I was saying, somebody called in and informed Barrister that look at what is going on back home. People can register to vote in northern Nigeria and Yoruba land free of charge. The call is coming back again.
All
Um,
right.
hello, the call on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Where are
Are
you
you
calling
guys
from?
done? I'm calling from United States. Are you guys done?
No, we are still on. What's your name,
Okay.
please, sir?
My name is Patrick Johnson, and I'm
Patrick.
from Abia State.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me add barrister because the network was just behaving somehow. So
Okay.
let me add barrister. Oh, another call is coming in again. Oh, barrister, are you there now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Hello, the caller on the line. Please identify yourself.
My name is Patrick Johnson, and I'm calling from United States.
Welcome, brother
Hello.
Patrick. Yes, barrister,
Thank
can you
you.
hear
Thank
him?
you.
Yes, I can hear you. You're welcome, my brother Patrick.
Thank you, Barrister. My brother, I want to thank you so much for taking your time to do this video, trying to educate our, people on the place or areas that we are still down. I want to thank you so much for that.
Thank you, my
I
brother.
have been thinking about how to speak with you, and today your discussion caught my attention. And I said it would be good if I use this opportunity to air out my views about what you said. You guys were talking about how to take legal action against people, group of people who have been destroying the properties of our people, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have an answer to that because sometimes if we don't tell ourselves the truth, we can keep on running around all these things forever.
Exactly.
I have an answer for this. The answer is for all of us, including the Middle Africa CEO, to start a crusade, a comeback crusade, come back home crusade. Our people should be invested in our place. I don't know what is even in the north that we cannot find in the eastern Nigeria. So, if anybody is building enough, I wonder what the person is thinking. It is better for our people to understand that they do not have nothing in that land. They don't like us. I bet you we don't like them. So we have to tell our people the truth. Start a crusade. Tell them they should come back home. Man, why are we even building houses? What can we even find enough that we cannot find in our own lands? Listen, brother, if we can stop sympathizing with those our brothers, if we can stop it and start telling them these things that we don't have any sympathy, we have to tell them the truth, come back home. If they call it hatred, whatever anybody wants to call it, this is my own opinion, and I am entitled to air it out. I don't want it to hurt anybody, but if anybody wants to be hurt because I said it, that's fine. I don't care.
My brother Patrick, you are correct. No, you have the right to say what you have said, and I believe you are correct. You know, when the moderator suggested that we could go and take action against the government of maybe governor of Kano State or governor of Maiduguri or governor for not protecting our people. Now, if you go to take that action against the governor, our people will say, hey, this is the right time for them to build more in the north. Somebody is protecting them. They will build more in the north.
Good.
But
so it's better for them to see that they don't have no protector.
So it's better. Yeah, it's better for them to know that they have no protection. Let them come home.
Yeah,
well, when I mean let them come home, I'm not saying exodus. What I mean, let them start developing in Biafraland.
Yeah.
How many houses? How many houses do Hausa Fulanis build in our place? How many upstairs skyscrapers? How many of them have they built? What are they doing in our place? I wonder, my brother. I don't think any Igbo man can hate Hausa Fulani herdsmen more than I do. They killed. Listen, my brother. They killed my uncle during the war. And let me tell you something. Buhari has never forgiving the Igbos.
He have
he has
not.
not.
Yes, he has not.
So why do you think? Listen, this issue of Christianity that we are professing every day is making us crazy. And that is why we are very lazy in reacting or taking actions against the people who are killing us. Because of what? Christianity. And it's making us crazy.
No,
it's making us crazy.
No, my brother, listen. The problem is not Christianity. The problem is misunderstanding the principles of Christianity. Now, let me tell you how I preach. I'm a pastor. And let me tell you how I understand where Jesus said, if someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the left cheek. Let me tell you how I preach it, how I understand it. Jesus said, if someone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the left cheek, the other cheek, all right? Now,
exactly.
Now, in law, we have what we call canons of interpretation. Every written thing, a lawyer knows how to interpret it properly. Now, we interpret it. He says, if they slap you on the right cheek, turn to them the left cheek. Good. So, a human being has two cheeks, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
They slap you on this one, you turn the other one. They slap you on the other one, the two cheeks are finished, right?
Yes.
Now, if they slap you on the face, Jesus did not say you should turn the back. Just understand. Listen. If they slap you on the face, because they have slapped the two cheeks are finished now. And now they slap you on the face. Jesus did not say you should turn your back and run. He said it is now fire for fire. Ndị Igbo na-akpọ ya ije ogu, ọkwa?
Yes. Oh no.
Ime nke mbụ ma medi okwe, gị ime nke abụọ ya ezukwe. Ndị Igbo si ime nke atọ ya atọ n'anya.
Yes.
So it is.
We have a problem.
The thing is not Christianity. It is the way the pastors or the ministers
interpret that word of God.
Okay, listen. Something that happened in my village some time ago. In every village we have different unions or different organizations and so on. So I belong to Amucha Christian Association, different from another association. And we always pay our development levies for development of the town. Everybody, whether Christian or not, every person, whichever group you belong to, we pay our development levies. Now it happened because I don't belong to the other organizations, and some of our members don't. Then the other people say, okay, because we don't belong to their own organization, that any of our members who dies will never be buried in Amucha land. I said, what? They said, okay, let's get ready. It happened that a member of our church died, an old woman of about 86 years old. And they were saying that she will not be buried in that land. I said, this same land where we pay our dues, we pay our development levy, even the road, we brought the road that was tarred. I said, okay, let us see. I now went to the governor of Imo State and filed a notice, went to commissioner. So I now told them that there will be blood, that I will command the shedding of blood. And they knew me. And I taught our people how to kill, that you can kill. That is not every killing that is murder. When you kill by accident, it's not murder. When you kill by in self-defense, it's not murder. When you kill by provocation, it's not murder, but it's manslaughter. I now told them what we're going to do. I now told them what we're going to do. That day, every person take your machete. The kind of machete that cuts head once you cut head, the head will roll. That every person will come with his machete, and I will come with my own. And on that day, we'll carry the woman, the corpse. We'll carry the corpse on our head. When we get to the boundary, we'll carry the corpse on our head and we'll start singing song and moving into the village. And if the other people who want to make trouble come, once they push us, we should allow the corpse to fall down on the ground and let the woman's wrapper be made open and let the woman, the dead body, be open, naked on the road. And once that happens, every person should start cutting heads, start killing any person that's near you. And I told them not to allow anger to quench. Don't allow the temper to cool. Immediately that woman's corpse is pushed down on the road, and her wrapper, everything is open, and her nakedness is seen on the road. Start killing, kill. Make sure you kill every person that's around you, and make sure you kill at the heat of the temper. Don't allow temper to cool.
Yeah, because it becomes another premeditation. If you allow it to cool and you kill again, it becomes a premeditation.
Exactly. So I now taught my people. I informed Nigeria. I informed the governor. Informed the commissioner of police. Informed the attorney general. I notified them. Every person come and see blood will flow. They knew me. They know me that if I decide to do a thing, only God will stop me. And when they saw this, when they saw this, they said that this is out of hand. Please allow them. Please.
You know why? You know why? Because they saw the readiness.
Yes.
They saw the readiness. That is sometimes when you are telling our people, you don't get so much things that you want just by sitting down before folding your arms. Sometimes you fight to get it.
No, my brother. Let me, because this topic now, I'm the one that raised it. Let me jump in a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Our people coming back, bringing their business back to Eastern region is not a bad idea. But last week we discussed something, Barrister, that you requested for support to be able to do it, pertaining the Seaport in Port Harcourt, or let me call it in the Biafraland. If people send their goods from abroad, because we depend on importation and everything, I mean the indigenous people of Biafra, in Port Harcourt, it takes our people 3 good months to clear, while in Lagos, it takes them 3 hours. So those things are systematically holding them back to that land. But if at all, as Barrister said last week, he knows what to do to get things running, things to run more better in that seaport, in the whole indigenous people's land. Why don't our people bring in to support, raise up to support Barrister, so that our people will be able, they won't have any excuses again to give? Because if it touches them, they will tell you, for me to bring my goods out of the River State, Port Harcourt, it takes me months, while in Lagos State, it's only hours.
I think that, this clearing of goods mostly concerns the businessmen, like people who do importation. Importation is more profitable to them, and I expect that if they will be informed that it is possible for them to start clearing their goods in the east, and as a way to do it, and they enforce it and make sure that the wharves in the east, the seaports in the east are working. I believe that they should be interested in it, because if you tell Onyoru Beke, maybe a civil servant, to start fighting that war battle, he may not understand how useful it will be to him. But it's only businessmen who suffer it, going to Lagos to clear their goods, that can appreciate the importance of opening up the seaports in the east. And we can open up the seaports. We know what to do now, and Nigeria will start the seaports will start functioning.
There is I know this our issue is very, very complicated. Barrister cannot do it alone.
No.
Barrister needs support. I mean, support from big guys, Igbo big guys, because we have big people. But the problem is, some of these people are, feeding themselves from the federal government. How they are feeding themselves from all these things. So how are they going to help? How can they help? If they are getting their businesses and whatever they want from the same federal government, how can they help?
Yeah, that's
how
why
can they work with you?
There is something that Barrister said last time. He said that if Biafra is going, we got to carry everybody along. if these guys that are feeding through this bad
Federal
omen,
government.
yes, I use the bad omen because crippling your own area just for the benefit of whatever and allowing other side to develop. Obasanjo came to Eastern region and said, develop your area. How do we develop our area while we cannot be able, even if that seaport start functioning, it will create a lot of jobs. Most of these boys in forest will come out to start doing something in that area. It will benefit both the businessmen, the state, and the entire region.
Everybody.
You know, so if, as Barrister said, I can do it, but what I need is support. Any way you can be able to support, you throw in the support. You know, so that all of us need Biafra. Everybody want Biafra. Our people are people who want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. They want to be alive and see Jesus Christ. But it's unfortunate things doesn't work that way.
Well, we can start. We can start now. If people are interested, we can start now putting all the papers and start moving into the necessary authorities that matter, and then start pushing it, and then we'll start opening up the seaport.
Yes, there is a one minute. Let me get one brother that calls in last week. Brother Chima Obi Uzobihe. He called in and he said he sent in his email address, Barrister.
Okay, I have seen it. brightshema@yahoo.com.
Yes, he said that you should please reach him. He will support you through by giving you accommodation in Port Harcourt. So, my people, as this brother is throwing out this support now, this help, we need others who will be able. Somebody may say, let me cover the flight ticket, and the other one said, let me cover for the expenses of transportation or whatever. Then Barrister knows what to do.
Yes, if I can fly into Nigeria and then do the necessary things, and the things start moving. No, you have to kickstart the process, and if you keep quiet, nothing happens.
Okay, Barrister is not in Nigeria now.
No, I'm in London.
Oh, Barrister is in London. Oh, here am I in the United States, and the other guy is in Germany.
Yes, yes.
From London, I've been going to Nigeria. I have been traveling from London to Nigeria to do the case between Biafra and Nigeria. From here.
And somebody would not value it. He's spending his hard-earned currency.
I've spent millions.
You know,
just flying from London to Nigeria to do that case. You know, if you keep quiet, nobody will do it now.
And my brother, Barrister have solved one problem. You know that in Eastern region, those registering for election, they are demanding passport. Barrister have cleared it. There is no more passport.
Which passport?
They demand passport from our people in the Eastern region to register for voters card. Yes.
Well,
they are demanding
they will do whatever they they will do whatever they can do to stop you guys from voting.
Yes.
And that was something that somebody said last time. If you vote, it's better. If you boycott the vote, well, state of emergency will be imposed on you. They will still bring like a house and put over there, and they will still be controlling you.
A part of that, you will become a minority, because how are using the election to count census?
Yeah, you know, it's just a whole lot of problems. It's a whole lot of stuff that we got entangled into.
They put us in slavery. They say slavery.
It's just a lot of stuff. When I look at this situation that we found ourselves, every time I keep on crying every time, you know. But the thing is, right now, the hope is about all these people who are speaking. What can we do to get it right? Because all these problems are man-made, and London men can fix it.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
There is nothing. God did not make it that way. Men made it that way.
Yes.
So now that we are here, there is a social media. There are so many things. There are so many things we can use now. It's time for us to say, okay, how do we do these things legally?
Okay.
That is how white people do things.
Yes. You know, that was why we set in motion the legal process of getting independence. if you know, that Nigeria crafted the constitution and in fact, the policies so terribly against us that it's so difficult for us to have a say in the parliament, in the National Assembly. We are the least, and our vote. That there are 5 states. We have 5 states, and that is 15 senators, 15 senatorial seats. Others have 6 and 7 states having 18 and 21 senatorial seats, and there's no way our 15 senators can vote those that have 21 senators or 18 senators. So we are made a minority in the parliament. So our vote cannot achieve much.
But
So Abuja politics does not favor us. However, the Nigerian constitution has given the power to the states to make laws and govern themselves. So we now said, okay, let's use another method to create Biafra within Biafraland by passing the law in our state houses of assembly. Let us pass Biafran bill into law in our state houses of assembly in the east and create Biafra first in the east. But the problem now is Biafran activists who are talking. We are yet to get people that we will put in power who can pass Biafra bill into law. We are not talking of Abuja. We are not even interested in Abuja now. Let's get Biafra land first.
Let's get it working.
Yes,
let's get it working.
First. Let's get Biafra first in Biafra land. Get it working. Put hardcore Biafran activists in power. And let us see how things will not change. We are not interested in Abuja.
No, because even our governors, they go over there in Abuja, they are receiving something that other states are also receiving.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you use the same thing in your own land?
Exactly.
Give it to your people.
Exactly.
Use it and build industries for your people. Why pocketing the whole money? Why are you using the whole money?
You know why? Because those people we call our governors are not our governors. They were imposed upon us by the Northerners and Westerners as their stooges. Were you not there, or didn't you hear when in those days we heard about that he was asked to bring the money of Anambra State and share it with the godfathers in Aso Rock, and he refused, and they now abducted him.
Oh yes.
So the thing is that when you get the state allocation, you divide it and share it with your godfather in Aso Rock.
It's a problem.
My
it's
brother,
a problem, brother.
Actually, ele aha nwanne anyị nwoke kere na phone.
Patrick Johnson.
Patrick Patrick.
Brother Patrick.
Brother Patrick, because when I do the radio barriers, because I want to now. And
no, go ahead and connect those people so they can speak their own views, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you for
sir.
calling in.
All right, brother Patrick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Barclays. Keep up the good job, okay?
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, bye.
Bye for now. Please, the caller on the line, you may call in now. We will find a way to connect you. Barrister, this person have been trying to get you on the line, but the line is not coming through. But if he comes, we switch it over as we normally do.
Okay.
So, Barrister, why is it where were our people when these guys were drafting these laws?
The Constitution.
Not the thing that gave them the right to have more senatorial position than other parts.
You see, the Northerners are very, very intelligent politically. Politically, they are very intelligent. You know, it started with even the first time when they threatened to pull out from Nigeria in the 1950s, 59.
Yes.
When they threatened to pull out from Nigeria, they said they didn't want to be Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And our people were so, well, I don't know how to describe them. Our leaders then, people like Dr. Azikiwe and others, they didn't understand the game plan of the North. The North said, no, we will pull out, we will pull out. In the first place, when the independence proposal was made, the North said no, they were not ready. They were not ready. And that was why Ghana got independence before us.
Okay.
Ghana got independence in 1957 because the Northerners in northern Nigeria said they were not ready. And so Dr. Azikiwe and Awolowo and the rest of them were waiting for North to be ready. And the North threatened that, okay, they will pull out from Nigeria. And instead of our people to say, okay, go now, go, pull out, our people started begging them, no, let us stay together. They say, okay, for us to stay together, we'll have more seats in the parliament. And our people agreed.
But can't we renegotiate all these things? If at all, from example, now, barrister, let me come through
Yes.
this way. If at
Yes.
all Nigeria go on their knees and beg the Biafras not to pull, that let us go into a round table and do things right. Do you think that they will allow such an area to be tampered? Because I believe this election that America did recently, that Trump won, there are big states, but they have little power in the making. There are little states, they gave them more power to balance the equation. Can't we implement such thing? If Nigeria beg us to stay, let us do things right.
Well, the Constitutional Conference, which President Goodluck Jonathan, in his time, which he convened and executed, I think they tried to solve some of those problems. They tried to create equity or fairness in the system. They tried to create states and balance and make sure that all the regions have equal number of states, equal number of um, um, seats in the parliament. But you know that 2014 Constitutional Conference report, the present government, Buhari, said he will never implement it. So if that report was implemented, perhaps it would have addressed some of those problems of imbalance. But unfortunately, it has become a wasted effort.
That means if Buhari refused to implement it, it means that the whole northern oligarchies are against the idea right from the one.
Yes, they are against it. They are against it. They say they don't want it because if it is done, then we will have equal number of seats in the parliament. We'll have equal, everything equality equal. Everything will become equal. They don't want that.
But they don't want Nigeria to divide. Is it not so?
No, Nigeria will eventually divide. Now listen, and write it somewhere.
Okay.
Nigeria will either be restructured to guarantee equality, fairness, equity, justice. It's either it is restructured that way, or Nigeria will disintegrate and go into oblivion, and we will now read in history and say, once upon a time, there was a country called Nigeria. So Nigeria will be restructured to guarantee equity, fairness, justice, and we have given Nigeria options. The case that is in court, we gave Nigeria options. One, the Biafrans want to be totally independent. Even if others don't want, the Biafrans want to go.
Okay.
Two, if the others say, not only Biafra, what you do for Biafra also do for others, we will now say, okay, make the 6 geopolitical regions autonomous self-governing nations within one Nigeria. so that it becomes like going back to Aburi Accord. It becomes like what we have in the United Kingdom when you have where we have England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. All these are 4 countries in one, and everyone has its own or manages itself, governs itself. There's a kind of devolution of power. People controlling what they own, control your own resources, and so on. In that case, if the 6 regions are now granted autonomous self-governing status, then the Biafrans will still govern themselves as Biafrans, managing themselves. Those the Arewa people, the Duwa people, the south, and the mid south west, or the middle belt, the north central, northeast, northwest, all of them will be different countries in one Nigeria. Each region govern yourself, control your resources. Then it will be agreed a certain percentage of tax to be paid to the central government. Then all of us will now be one Nigeria, but you are governing yourself and paying an agreed percentage of tax to the central government. Then what can keep us together may be a common currency, maybe we'll be using one currency, or be using maybe one immigration, or one army or something, depending on what we agree. That is an option. Remember, the first option is that Biafrans want to go out, total independence, without having anything to do with Nigeria. Second option is going back to Aburi Accord, where Biafrans will govern themselves and others also govern themselves within the one Nigeria. Now, third option is, if you don't accept the first and you don't accept the second, the third option is bringing an executive bill to National Assembly for a law to dissolve Nigeria back to status quo where we were before 1914. Every person go back to your father's land as we were before 1914.
Barris, I have another question again. Will it be wise if Nigeria now open their door for restructuring, as they are putting it, to any extent? Will it be wise for us, the Biafrans, to remain, or should we continue to say no restructuring, we want to pull out? Which one is the wisest choice that we will be able to make?
You see, the problem with some of us, the Biafra activists, is lack of knowledge of diplomatic bargaining.
Yes.
A na-ejikwenu nwayọọ aracha ofe dị ọkụ.
Otu aka ọ dị, o mere n'ụwa.
And a na-azọta ana before azọkwa n'ute.
Yes.
If they say they want restructuring, I would like to go into what is already before the court. We have given the options in court. If Nigeria chooses the second option, we will now say, okay, fine. That means you want to choose the second option, which is what we have placed in court already. That is, restructure in such a way that every region will be autonomous and govern itself, control its own resources, govern yourself. If that is given to you, what next is the problem? You will answer Biafra. Is that? You have right to answer Biafra. You govern yourself. You have everything.
That is federalism, right?
Yes, that's confederacy. That is confederation, confederacy. That is, you govern yourself. You call yourself Biafra. Govern yourself. Control your resources. Rule yourself. Do whatever yourself. Only you pay a certain percentage tax to the central government. and maybe the central government will control currency. So all of us will use one currency.
Like
Or
like in England, Scotland.
some pound sterling or something.
But don't you think that they will still do something like manipulation? Likewise, England are doing against their own so-called union to have upper hand over all of them, because we want to be equal.
Okay. Now, somebody has told me that in the union, in the United Kingdom, the union, that England is more powerful in the union. That England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, that England is more powerful in that union. What makes them powerful? Or did they stop others from being powerful?
Systematically.
No,
Systematically.
did England stop Ireland or Wales or Scotland from being powerful in the union?
I can't answer that question.
You can't answer it.
Yes.
Because if you're accusing them of being powerful, for instance, if we form this sixth union of Nigeria, now it's 6 union states, assuming that it is accepted now, Biafra will be there, Oduduwa will be there, Arewa will be there, and others. We become 6 nations in one, alright? Now, you come out and accuse Biafra of being more powerful in the union, or accuse Arewa of being more powerful in the union. My question is that, did Arewa stop you from being more powerful?
They may be buying their way through.
They buy you and you accept. Is it not when in buying and selling? Is it not when a buyer is willing to buy, a seller will sell? So if Arewa person, if all of us are now in one union, in one Nigeria union of 6 countries, and we are Biafrans, then Arewa person comes to a Biafran and wants to buy something, and the Biafran agrees, and he will sell his birthright to Arewa. Who will you blame now? Is it Arewa man?
No. No.
Good. So if the Biafran man protects himself, his integrity, maintains his integrity as a Biafran, he will not sell out, even when we go into politics with other nations within the one Nigeria. So what I'm saying is this: if you are talking about restructuring, in line with what we have in court already, where we said that is a second option. If they don't want us to go outright now, let us go for the confederation, where the Biafrans will govern themselves and control their resources.
And that resources is the only thing that is holding one Nigeria.
Yes, but we are not saying that we control resources without paying tax. We shall pay tax to the central government, and agreed tax. You see, before Nigeria was before the independence, every region was taking 50% of what they produced. So when you produce, you take 50% and give 50% to the center. And later it came down. In fact, at a point during the military era, it came to you will take only. In fact, there was a time it came even to 1.5%. You will take and give Nigeria government 98 point something percent.
Okay.
Yes, before independence, it was 50-50. In fact, at independence, it was 50. It was even before. It was even more than that. It was at independence that it was 50-50.
Okay, Barrister, like the resources of the Biafran people now,
Yes.
today is under Nigerian control.
Yes.
Why don't the Nigerian Senate have power over the Nigerian resources? That is the president that dish it out as his likes.
No, the Petroleum Act, which was passed in 1969, vests all interest in mineral in the federal government. That is all mineral resources are vested in the federal government of Nigeria. So it is a legislative theft. It's a theft, legislative theft. So they now use law to steal the resources of the people, and they created um, um, an entity called federal government that will now own all the mineral resources. So whoever controls the federal government now controls all the mineral resources. That's why they want to die in Aso Rock.
My God.
Any person who controls the federal government controls all mineral resources. So that mineral resource that is in your backyard is not your own. It belongs to the federal government.
But the resources in northern Nigeria doesn't belong to the federal government.
No, it belongs to federal government. But the problem is that they are not tapping the resources in northern Nigeria.
The individuals, the emirs are the one, the local miners are the one mining the whole resources in the northern Nigeria. Why we cannot even touch our own?
Good. Why can't you? Why? Yeah, you see, all the minerals, both all the solid minerals, they all belong to Nigerian government, federal government. Now, Nigerian government grants license to individuals to mine minerals, just like the oil exploration license, oil mining lease. The federal government can give you license to mine oil or any mineral at all. So this thing you said that the emirs or the big men in the north are mining those things, it's possible that they were granted license by the federal government to mine those resources. So you find out first whether they were mining it illegally or legally. But the thing is that the law says all the mineral resources belong to the federal government of Nigeria. But the federal government now can give you license. So all the oil wells, you have heard that 86% of all the oil wells in Nigeria are owned by northerners.
Yes.
86% of all the oil wells in Nigeria are owned by northerners. Now, it is the federal government that gave them the license, what they call oil mining lease. So, the law confers the right on the federal government of Nigeria to own this and then can give license to those who want to mine.
Okay. Well, Barrister, I will say thank you for today. I have heard you so long on today's teaching. God will guide and protect you for us
Thank you.
and give you the blessing to keep on and dash you the special knowledge so that you will be able to continue in this special teaching. My people, I would like to use this opportunity to make an announcement. By the grace of God, if God give us the strength and the resources that we need, this Mirror Africa will now move out from YouTube to a live radio broadcasting station. Put
Amen.
it in prayers and pray for us that God will give us all that we will need to make it day-to-day activity to enlighten and to teach our people. People will listen to our message from apps, from radio station all over Nigeria and worldwide as a whole. So God will give us the power and the resources. So keep on praying for us, and please throw in your support anyhow, no matter how small it is. Support us. Support Bilie Human Rights Initiative. The account number is being added there. It's for you. That is account number. You can call your bank or anybody to verify the owner of that account, what it stands for, and anything that you will be able to drop into that account, $1, $2, $5, 100, 1,000, anything that comes in, God will pay you back. God will pay you back. That's all I have for you today. I said that you remain blessed. Barrister have stand today more than 1 hour, it's almost 1 hour for 44 minutes, to teach and lecture our people in different forms. I say remain blessed until we see us next week, Saturday, by this same time.
Thank you very much.
God bless all of you,
Bless you.
and we meet us next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barrister.